Even after the court's ruling against Foolio's killers, the streets never intended to forgive their crimes, but who plots to kill them instantly in prison? Foolio's lover? Foolio's mom? Or Youngin Ace's affiliate not wanting to get incriminated? Foolio's killers tortured in prison by KTA ops.
I'm finding that there is a substantial probability that all three defendants committed the dangerous crimes that they are charged with.
Although 4 suspects in the Julio Foolio murder, Alicia Andrews, Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, and Rashad Murphy, are currently being held in jail pending their trial. Many believe they are not likely going to make it that far. This became even more apparent after law enforcement officials confirmed what we all knew. The motive for the fatal shooting was linked to a bloody gang rivalry. Unsurprisingly, Foolio's gang members desperately seek revenge and aren't allowing the prison walls or guards to stop them from carrying out their wicked plot. According to sources in the prison where Foolio's killers are being held, Foolio's homies have infiltrated the prison and have been making life a living hell for the suspected killers. The killers have had to endure daily torture from Foolio's homies in jail, and there is now a real fear that some, if not all of them, may never make it to trial. This recent development in the Foolio murder saga hasn't come as a surprise to those familiar with the Jacksonville drill rap scene, even the police. However, the authorities took a strategic decision to warn against retaliatory attacks.
I mean, unfortunately, I think young people think this is a game. These groups, I won't name them, they know who they are. We're not going to tolerate any retribution, any revenge.
From the moment the news of Julio Foolio's death hit social media, everyone knew there would be retaliatory attacks to follow within the Jacksonville drill rap community. Immediately, the identities of Foolio's killers were revealed, and they became targets for Foolio's gang members. However, some conspiracy theories believe there might be others who are queuing up to end the lives of Foolio's killers in a bid to prevent them from spilling out incriminating evidence about Foolio's murder. For now, there's a growing consensus that the killers have other accomplices who have yet to be named in the investigation. If true, it's not far-fetched to think that these people would feel the only way to safeguard their identities is to silence Foolio's killers in prison permanently. This is where things get even more interesting. According to sources, Foolio's homies aren't blinded by their desire for revenge. They also want answers and names. They are sure the story doesn't just end with the arrested suspects, and that's why. They have been torturing them daily to get them to snitch on their partners outside. While the killers are still alive at the moment, the question that looms is if they will survive long enough to stand trial. Given everything we know about this case, that will be a tough task, as the list of people who seemingly want Foolio's killers dead appears to be growing with each day. This is yet another twist to an unending saga that has once again brought the wrong kind of spotlight to Jacksonville's drill rap scene in recent years. Before his death, Foolio, who was a known member of Jacksonville's KTA gang and was locked in an unending rivalry with another Jacksonville street gang called ATK. However, following the arrest of the first 3 suspects, investigators revealed that Foolio's murder was planned and executed through the combined efforts of 2 Jacksonville gangs. According to documents filed in court by the police, Foolio was a documented member of the 6 Block gang. Meanwhile, the 6 Block gang is locked in an ongoing feud with the allied street gangs known as ATK and 1200. The feud has spanned several years and led to the deaths of more than a dozen people on both sides of the deadly rivalry. From the investigation, it was obvious that ATK and 1200 worked together to bring down one of their biggest rivals. Isaiah Chance is a documented ATK gang member. Meanwhile, Rashad Murphy and the 5th suspect, Davion Murphy, are documented as 1200 gang members. The other 2 suspects connected with the crime, Alicia Andrews and Sean Gathright, are not known gang members. However, Gathright appears to be affiliated with the ATK gang. Although ATK and 1200 gang members planned the fatal shooting that killed Foolio, the main characters in this deadly rivalry have always been ATK and KTA. The rivalry had always existed, but it became pronounced with the emergence of Julio Foolio and Youngin Ave in the Jacksonville drill rap culture. While Foolio belonged to the 6 Block set of KTA aka Kill Them All, Youngin Ace was a leading figure in ATK aka Ace Top Killers. The beef became pronounced as both rappers began battling for supremacy in Jacksonville's drill rap music. However, things reportedly went from bad to deadly with the May 2017 killing of 19-year-old Zion Brown. Brown was Julio Foolio's cousin, and his death was later linked to a known associate of Youngin Ace who went by the name DeAndre Thomas. It was Brown's death that set the tone for what has become one of the deadliest rivalries in rap music in recent times. Barely a year after Brown was killed, Youngin Ace was the target of a shooting. Although he managed to survive the attack, 3 teenagers were killed in the shooting, including Youngin Ace's 18-year-old brother Trevon Bullard. Interestingly, the shooting occurred while the group was at a restaurant to celebrate Youngin Ace's brother's birthday. From this point, things just spiraled out of control. While speaking about the attack, Youngin Ace recalled getting shot multiple times while watching his brother die.
How I survived that, and they put him on my side and shot at me first. I got shot 8 times, I'm still here, and he got shot 5 times.
Most notably, a retaliatory shooting in January 2019 claimed the life of Charles Quentin McCormick, a KTA rapper who was professionally known as Lil Buck. A month later, another hit led to the death of Julio Foolio's little brother, 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor Jr., aka Bibby. The teenager was shot and killed at a Moncrief area apartment complex. Similarly, Foolio and his then-girlfriend were both injured in separate shootings that were clear attempts on their lives. Since then, Foolio has been the target of several assassination attempts, some of which he only managed to escape death by whiskers. However, when the late rapper announced his birthday party on social media back in June 2024, the plans to end his life were quickly put in motion. Julio Foolio was later ambushed by 3 masked gunmen during his birthday weekend. Barely 2 weeks after the incident, the surveillance footage showing the moment the rapper was ambushed by the gunmen was leaked online, causing an uproar from fans. This leaked footage, which was obtained from the surveillance video of the parking lot where Foolio was dropped, would play a key role in helping investigators track down the rapper's killers. Arrest and trial of Foolio's killers. On Saturday, July 27, 2024, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested 3 suspects linked to the Foolio shooting: Sean Gathright, Isaiah Chance, and Alicia Andrews. Both Chance and Andrews, who are said to be dating, were captured earlier in the day at a home in Jacksonville. Later that day, Gathright was arrested at a local shopping center. Law enforcement later revealed that between June 21st and 23, all 5 suspects, Chance, Andrews, Gathright, and the Murphys, conspired to commit the first-degree and premeditated murder of Julio Foolio, whose legal name was Charles Jones. According to reports, the 5 suspects traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa on June 22nd in 2 separate vehicles with the sole intention of tracking down and killing Foolio as a retaliation for an ongoing Jacksonville rival gang feud.
And you can see the shooters are getting in position for their planned out murder, and they are shooting at Charles now, and you can see that he's the passenger in that car that's moving and trying to flee. And again, they're still shooting at him.
Following the brutal shooting, a joint investigation by detectives with the Tampa Police Department and Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was able to gather evidence and develop leads in unmasking the parties involved in the murder and make the first arrests, while efforts continued in locating the 2 other suspects, the Murphy brothers. While announcing the arrest during a press conference on Monday, July 29th, Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkhaw said,
"The city of Tampa is not where you want to come to settle a dispute. You will be charged, you will be arrested, and you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent possible."
During the briefing, Sheriff T.K. Waters of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office read the riot act to criminals in Jacksonville and by extension Florida, warning that there would be no hiding place for them in the state.
Today, 3 dangerous criminals are off our Florida streets and in police custody where they belong. We will always work together with our law enforcement partners to ensure that our communities are free of those who choose violence over peace.
True to his words, there was no hiding place for Rashad Murphy as deputies and U.S. Marshals were able to track him down to an apartment complex on Collins Road in Jacksonville on Monday night. The law enforcement officials arrived at the apartment just after 9 p.m., and Rashad responded by barricading himself inside the apartment. The officers quickly evacuated other residents from the apartment building as they simultaneously negotiated Rashad's surrender. After a 3-hour standoff, a sheriff's office SWAT team breached the apartment through a window to force Rashad out. The suspected killer gave himself up just after midnight on Tuesday, July 30th. The 5th suspect, Davion Murphy, remains at large, but there is an active warrant for his arrest, and the sheriff's office believes he is hiding out in the Jacksonville area. According to police, Rashad Murphy, Davion Murphy, and Sean Gathright were the 3 gunmen seen in the leaked footage firing at Foolio. In a surveillance footage compilation that was released after the arrests, the shooters can be seen trying to get into position around Foolio's car under the cover of the night. One of the shooters then runs toward the car and opens fire on Foolio and the 3 other people who were with him. As Foolio tries to flee from the scene, the shooters chase after the car and continue to fire at the vehicle until it stops. Police identified the 2 men running towards Foolio's car to initiate the attack as Rashad and Gathright. Davion Murphy, who was wearing an orange ski mask, remained near the fence line and fired at the vehicle with a rifle. Foolio was killed during the ambush, while the 3 other people with him were lucky to escape with non-life-threatening injuries. Although Isaiah Chance and Alicia Andrews were actively involved in planning the shooting, they only acted as lookouts for the gunmen on the night of the actual shooting. However, State Attorney Susan Lopez maintained all 5 suspects would be charged with murder. During a recent press conference, she said,
"All 5 of these defendants are facing life in the Florida State Prison, even the ones who didn't pull the trigger. In Florida, if you participate in the planning of a murder, you can be held accountable for the person's death. And that is what we intend to do here.
Lopez went on to highlight the emotional toll homicides have on the victims' families, specifically mentioning Foolio's grieving mother, Sandricus Mays. Lopez added that her office would do all it could to make sure that Foolio's mother got justice for her son's untimely death. Meanwhile, investigators revealed they used surveillance videos, license plate readers, and phone logs to identify the two vehicles used during the attack and tie them to the killers. The suspected killers are currently being held in jail after a Hillsborough County judge denied bond for Chance, Andrews, and Gathright during their pre-trial detention hearing back in August. Rashad didn't appear in court with the other suspects as he was still waiting to be transferred to Hillsborough County, from where he is currently being held at the Duval County Jail. More recently, the trio pleaded not guilty during an arraignment in a Hillsborough County courthouse on Monday, August 26th. Rashad Murphy will have an arraignment in September after his transfer from Duval County. During the pre-trial hearing in August, a video was played that showed Julio Foolio a few hours before he was murdered. The footage was obtained from two nightclubs that Foolio visited before heading to Holiday Inn, where the shooting occurred. Foolio had a paid performance at Teaser's Gentlemen's Club. He then attended an after-party at Truth 18 nightclub. At both clubs, surveillance footage captured how two vehicles had followed Foolio to both locations. From the video, one particular car always arrived first, and then a person later identified as Isaiah Chance would step out of the car and make a phone call. Moments later, the second vehicle would pull up at the same location as the other members of the killer group. The investigations also pointed to some other accomplices outside of the five suspects. According to court documents, hours after killing the Jacksonville rapper, Rashad Murphy boasted about the assassination in two text messages to different numbers. One of the texts read, "I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched. Pop a bottle of Don Julio today, Murphy." The other message reads, "I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched. I love you, Murphy." While the police have not confirmed who was at the receiving end of those messages, the revelation has led to many speculations about the identity of this accomplice. One of the names that has been consistently mentioned is none other than Foolio's arch-rival Youngeen Ace. Youngeen Ace's alleged involvement. Youngeen Ace made himself a person of interest in Foolio's murder case through his actions in the hours and days after the fatal shooting. Barely 6 hours after Foolio was ambushed and killed, Youngeen Ace decided to drop a diss track titled "Do It" that shocked fans and fellow rappers. Although Ace intelligently avoided mentioning any names, everyone knew who the song's disrespecting lyrics were referring to.
7 days a week around this spinning. Any day this week, I bet come up missing. Nigga, stay on point. You better not be out here slipping. Hey, just call me Mitchell. Hey, be trying to shit. Be down and shit. Tell her gon' free that hoe for till we gon' blame the.
Apart from the lyrics, which are pointedly about carrying out a hit on someone, the music video also controversially depicts what played out during the Foolio shooting. In the video, masked men can be seen shooting another man in what appears to be the parking lot of a motel. Foolio was ambushed in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn by 3 masked gunmen. Unsurprisingly, the lyrics and video of the song immediately drew criticism from fans who slammed Youngeen Ace for disrespecting the dead. Despite the backlash from fans, Youngeen Ace remained unbothered and added salt to injury with an even more detailed diss track titled "Game Over" that savagely mocked Julio Foolios' death. Unlike the first diss track, "Game Over" sees Youngeen Ace come for Foolio right from the first line of the song.
Yeah, I know I smoke bad people, man. You know what I'm saying? I smoke 6.
The number 6 is continually referenced throughout the song, and it is meant as a disrespect to Foolio's 6-block gang. In another part of the song, Ace goes into detail about the shooting in such a way that further implicates him in the whole thing.
That on the floor, that on the ride, Mr. 6. Oh, no. I'm steady screaming out for the alarm, for the 6. 4 in the car, 1 I'm dead, 3 I hit. I told them niggas they don't want a war with this.
As mentioned earlier, Foolio was one of 4 people in the car when the gunmen opened fire. Ace knew exactly what he was doing when he spat that line in this song, and many believe those words may come back to haunt him. But Youngeen Ace's verbal assault on his dead op didn't end there. Further into the song, Ace provided even more details about Foolio's death.
556 increase the murder at the body on the way. Mask on, get up close, this another close case. Now Julio shots to the face.
Foolio went by the name Julio Foolio, and Youngeen Ace disrespectfully likens his death via shooting to taking shots of Don Julio tequila. Interestingly, one of the killers, Rashad Murphy, mentioned popping a bottle of Don Julio in the text message he sent hours after killing Foolio. For many people, this wasn't a mere coincidence, and it further solidified the rumors that Youngeen Ace was somehow involved in the plot to end Foolio's life. Just when you thought things couldn't get more implicating for Youngeen Ace, it did. Barely a few days after Foolio's funeral service, where family and friends paid tribute tribute to the late rapper, a video surfaced online showing an identified man claiming he was the one who fatally shot Foolio. The man concealed his face with a ski mask and orange beanie while making these unverified claims. He further alleged that he had been paid $10,000 by Youngin Ace to carry out the hit on Foolio. Although it is advised that the remarks are taken with a pinch of salt, they remain weighty allegations that have continued to bedevil Youngin Ace over the last couple of weeks. In the video, the man starts his confession by swearing on everything he loved that he was the actual shooter. He went on to reveal that he had no personal beef with the late rapper and only carried out the hit because money had been put on Foolio's head.
I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. Handle that, cuz Ace had that money on his head, you know. Ace had them put that 10K up. Nigga don't give a fuck, bro. Like, about that money, anybody could get it, you feel me?
With everyone's eyes firmly on Youngin Ace, the rapper finally broke his silence on Julio Foolio's murder several days after the unidentified man made the shocking allegations. While speaking during an Instagram live session, the Oops rapper denied playing a role in the murder.
That's sad. Twin, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all boys in the street, y'all didn't leave the streets alone, twin. I'll condone this like that.
Ace also left everyone stunned when he sensationally claimed he and Foolio were on good terms before his death and that he had earned the late rapper to stay away from the streets. He added,
"It's so funny cause me, bro, like we cool, like we was cool and shit, you feel me? Me and him, like we cool and shit. I was just, so funny, I was just talking to him, I'm like, bro, you gotta stop the way, bro, you know, love y'all here, like stop the way, real shit. Like, you know, I f with your real shit."
For many, this was a shocking turn of events that nobody saw coming. However, fans were not buying Ace's newfound love for Foolio, and they highlighted this by pointing to all his diss tracks against Foolio in the aftermath of the fatal shooting. When the suspects linked to Foolio's murder were finally arrested, some fans began to speculate that it was only a matter of time before Youngin Ace would be roped into the investigation. The rumors were so intense that during the July 29th press conference organized by the police to announce the arrest of the suspected killers, pressmen asked about Youngin Ace's potential involvement in the murder. While responding to the question, Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters didn't give a definite answer, but left the doors open to any possibility. Waters said,
"So Youngin Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them."
Waters went on to add that there was no investigation into Youngin Ace at the time of the press conference. However, he revealed that a restriction had been placed on Ace's movement around Jacksonville in such a way that he wouldn't be around the community without the police knowing about it. As investigations into Foolio's death continue, investigators have not only looked into the final hours of the late rapper, but also some of the events that defined his life. To get a better understanding of why Foolio's life was brutally cut short while celebrating his 26th birthday, we must first explore Foolio's violent lifestyle. Foolio's violent lifestyle and death. One of the shocking discoveries that were made after the arrest of Foolio's killers was spent rifle casings found in Sean Gathwright's car that linked the 18-year-old to a previous attempt on Foolio's life. The incident occurred on October 7th, 2023, when Foolio was ambushed while driving a black Dodge Challenger in the 3100 block of West 18th Street. The car was shot up multiple times by gunmen, leaving Foolio with a bullet wound in his foot. Foolio was rushed to UF Health Jacksonville, where he underwent surgery for his injury, which was said to be severe at the time. Following the incident, one of Foolio's parents took to the rapper's Instagram account to call for prayers for their son. The post, which was on Foolio's Instagram story, read, "Keep Foolio my son, in y'all prayers he was shot last night in his hating city." The post left fans concerned at the time since further details about the rapper's condition were not provided. However, the rapper later doused the growing concerns surrounding his health when he shared a picture from his hospital bed capturing his recovery. The picture, which was shared on Foolio's Instagram page, showed the rapper on his hospital bed with his injured leg covered in bandages. The caption read, "This life I live not recommended. I told my grandma my voodoo working." Foolio also posted more updates on his recovery to his Instagram story, including one video where he spoke about his foot, stating how he couldn't wash his feet. He then wiggled his toes before adding,
"Look, I can really move my feet now. I can move my toes now. And I got good, boy. And I can feel them now."
Unfortunately, Foolio's recovery in the hospital was abruptly cut short after his safety was compromised by one of the nurses at the hospital who leaked his location. During a December 2023 interview with No Jumper, Foolio spoke about the incident for the first time and revealed that he had initiated a lawsuit against the hospital.
I got a lawsuit with the hospital right now. She got fired and all about that. I just got a letter about that from the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Lawsuit.
Foolio continued to share his thoughts on why the nurse posted a picture of him.
I don't know if she did it like intentionally or on some funny shit or what she was on, but I know it wasn't like the right intentions. Like, I'm going through a lot of shit. You weren't supposed to post that. You know who I am.
The list of dead ops rapper certainly had a lot going on in his life at that moment. Before getting shot in the foot, the rapper was the target of 2 high-profile shootings that could have easily claimed his life. The first occurred in July 2020 while Foolio was in Houston, Texas. The rapper ended up in the hospital where he filmed a live video mocking his shooters from his hospital bed.
A nigga shot me, but he didn't kill me.
This became a recurring theme throughout his lifetime, as he would always post a video mocking his shooters after every failed attack. Foolio did the same thing when he was ambushed in 2021 as he was getting out of his car in Jacksonville, Florida. Hours after the shooting, Foolio went live on his Instagram to throw a series of jabs at his shooters. While showing off the minor injuries he sustained during the attack, the rapper maintained that he didn't get hit by the bullets and that he was only grazed in the leg. Foolio went on to boast about how he fought off his shooters while mocking them for not being able to get the job done. He said, "I shot back in self-defense. My gun is registered. If I did something illegal, the police would put me in jail. A nigga did miss 100 shoots though. They must have thought I was lacking for sure. Y'all miss a whole 100 shots literally." Unfortunately, the air of invisibility surrounding Foolio was bypassed on June 23, 2024, when he was ambushed while celebrating his 26th birthday with friends in Tampa. Hours before the shooting occurred, Foolio had shared several stories on Instagram capturing the fun moments he was having with his entourage, including a viral video of him at a pool party alongside friends at an Airbnb. At some point, the party reportedly got overcrowded, leading police to be invited to the location to shut down the event. Undeterred by the temporary break in the flow of the night, Foolio and his friends relocated to the Holiday Inn, where the shooters executed their wicked plot.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody come back to stay.
The news of Foolio's death was first confirmed by his attorney, Louis Fusco, who also asked the public to respect the privacy of the rapper's family during the difficult period. A few days later, Foolio's mother, Sandricus Mays, spoke about her son's passing for the first time in a lengthy Instagram post. In the post, Mays reflected on the travails she experienced as the mother of someone who was constantly being hunted by enemies, including being shot 8 times. Mays also mentioned how she desperately tried to get her son to quit the street life and ditch the violence that had become synonymous with his music. However, the most telling part of the lengthy post was when Mays announced that she would be releasing a documentary in honor of her son sometime in the future. More recently, Mays paid tribute to her son by getting a massive tattoo of his face on her left forearm. The tattoo was done by Artist Power and depicts a portrait of the Jacksonville rapper while he was alive. If you found this video interesting and would like to get first-hand details on trendy news about your favorite celebrities, click on the card showing on the screen.